Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Straight from the Supe, where we get to hear straight from our superintendent of Poway Unified School District, Dr. Ben Churchill.
That's right.
Dr. Churchill, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Josue, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited because we've been recording these.
Yeah.
So hearing from folks,
Yeah.
it's been nice.
It's been really nice. Yeah. We have so many great stories, so many great people, and it's been awesome to meet some of them and share with our wider audience.
Mm-hmm. And today's guest, or this episode's guest, I'm especially excited about.
Me too.
She's a real trooper and partner with communications, and she just so happens to be talking about communications today. So, but she has been in education for over 14 years. The last 2.5 have been at Deer Canyon Elementary School. The proud principal, Katie Bendix.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. How are you, Katie?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I've had a jam-packed day, kicked it off with a workout in the morning and ready to ride it through. Yeah, feeling
Nice.
good.
How early are you waking up to get a workout in before you're on campus?
Well, 4:15. That's the average on a weekday.
Okay.
Yeah, weekends, we sleep in until about 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Nice.
That's sleeping in. I love
I
that.
feel rested.
Okay, good. So we're talking about family engagement and really being able to keep in contact with families and also creating channels and opportunities for them to communicate back with us, right? So I know that there's this very special effort going on at Deer Canyon Elementary around communication with families. And so before we dive more into that, I'm curious to know, what did it look like when you were in school? How did the school communicate with your family?
Gosh, well, thinking way back, this was before the time of the internet, and I just remember backpacks being stuffed full of flyers and often poking out of the zippers and hoping, crossing fingers, that it was getting home to families and parents. About a 50-50 shot when you've got a 7-year-old bringing home a bunch of flyers. But yeah, before the internet and before emails, that was kind of how we did it.
Yeah, it's fascinating, right? There was a day when really the primary vehicle for communicating with families was shoving something in a kid's backpack.
Yep.
And hoping it got home.
Yeah. Not sure what pocket.
Right, exactly. Yeah, me too. I was trying to think about it. I don't recall there being significant communication with families when I was in school. I'm sure there was some, but maybe was there a mailed newsletter? I don't know. But certainly the idea of shoving things into folders, into backpacks, and just hoping that some of that stuff got home. That's very different today. Very different today. What are some of the ways that you're finding to be successful today in school with elementary parents in terms of homeschool communication?
Yeah, it's super important to consider that many of our families have a number of students attending a number of schools within our district.
Yep.
So, certainly we do still rely on flyers, and often we'll post those on our website via Peach Jar. But for at least us at Deer Canyon, we do a weekly newsletter through the S'mores platform that what I really appreciate about it is it's a one-stop shop for our families. And, if you have a student attending multiple different schools, you go straight to that school newsletter, and it has everything that you could need. Upcoming events, communication directly from me as the principal, also from our site foundations and parent organizations, all in one place. Can't get lost on the way unless it ends up in your junk mail, right? And then we have some problem solving to do. But really through that weekly newsletter and some of our online platforms as well, our Instagram account is certainly growing. It's something that we love to celebrate what's happening on campus and also communicate really important upcoming events.
Yeah. What has parent feedback been like in terms of the different communication channels that you use?
Interesting that you asked that. We just pushed out a parent and guardian survey to get some feedback on our communication. And, really loud and clear what our parent community has asked us for is to continue to consolidate some of that communication. It does get fairly lengthy, but to really stick with that weekly at most communication so that there's one place and you're not searching for all of the information in all of the places. We do try to keep our website as up to date as possible with that information as well so that parents know exactly where they can go to get information.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me. I've heard parents in lots of places suggest that they'd like more information, but the volume of information they receive is overwhelming.
Absolutely.
And I wonder if you've had some of that same feedback, and then maybe talk a little bit more about your initial efforts to reduce the information overwhelm while providing great and timely information to families.
Absolutely. Quick question.
Yep.
You may not know.
Okay.
How many unread text messages or emails do you have on your phone right now?
So it makes me crazy to see the little red circle with the numbers in it.
You're one of those people. Okay.
I'm one of those people.
Okay.
So very few, very few. How about you?
I'm impressed. I'm usually somewhere in the 40s
Okay.
of
Whoa.
unread texts.
Wow.
Text messages.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I work to keep that number down, but that's just that's the reality right now.
Yeah.
So, for me personally, I also really value just that one-time consolidated communication. And again, limited repetition of the same information. So that's really where we've honed in some of our focus this school year, is not inundating with multiple repetitive notifications, but to still have that timely and weekly information from the school.
That's great. That's great. Now, you mentioned your school site foundation. What other parent groups do you work with, and how do you help coordinate information sharing with those groups?
Yeah, absolutely. So oftentimes I find myself in spaces with our parents and guardians that are a little more casual than even just our parent foundation meetings, whether it's coffee with the principal, out at pickup and drop off, or at various club meetings as well. My parent foundation does a really great job of soliciting feedback from various groups, and also including, of course, important site information. So we have some collective Google documents and a marketing content schedule that we've really centralized all of our internal communication as well, to make sure that we're not missing any important information to get out to our community.
That's great. Yeah. Shout out to our foundations. Shout out to our PTAs and PTSAs. Those parent groups are amazing. And I know your campus really gets to reap the benefit of some very involved parents, which is awesome. Awesome. Well done. Well done. So we're often interested in kind of tips and tricks for parents or for other schools and school administrators. So thinking through your lens as a school principal, I'm wondering, what's a simple thing that schools could do to make a big difference in helping families to feel connected?
Absolutely. I would say, opening up spaces for parents to join on campus very casually. Recently this year, we've had some coffee at drop-off. We've had open tables, just inviting parents in and finding those more organic parent connections among each other and with administration and our site staff. One thing that has really come from our parents is they're looking for more of those really casual connection opportunities to, whether it's build a carpool or, hey, find someone to go to Monster Mash with. And so we've been really intentional about opening spaces on our physical campus for parents to get plugged in and hear about all of the really amazing things happening on our campuses and potentially make a friend along the way.
Yeah, this is cool. When we were brainstorming the topic of communication, I immediately started thinking about like the technology-based tools that we can use to make communication easier. But what I'm hearing from you loud and clear is what's more important is the human connection, the organic connection between people, and you've seemed to find a way to start to really get after that.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
It's a priority at Deer Canyon, and it's something that makes our campus so special.
Yeah.
And I think I'm biased because I work in communications, but I think that's such a great place to start. Is communication starts with a welcoming environment. I'm not going to hear your message if I don't feel like I'm welcome on your campus, right? So I think it's so impressive to start with what are these other touch points or engagement points where we can kind of circle around. So when all the emails do come through, I'm much more likely to open that. Like, we just know not everybody's going to open an email for different reasons,
Right?
Valid reasons, and I think even more now with AI, how we're writing these emails, not only condensing them, but really being picky about the words we choose. Because if AI is going to summarize your newsletter for you and that's what the parent's going to see, you want it to be accurate, right? So all of that intention behind, providing information, I think is super cool how you guys are going about it. I can't wait to see how it unfolds throughout the year for sure.
Yeah,
I do a lot of communicating. I receive a lot of communications, and I do actively think about how can I make my point as clearly and succinctly as possible with as few words as possible, but to achieve maximum impact. I know that resonates with folks because it resonates with me when I think about the volume of communication that I receive. And look, we're a large school district, 40 schools, nearly 34,000 students. There are so many amazing things happening. We have to find ways to tell those stories, but to make it clear and concise and not overwhelming. You mentioned social media a little bit. What is social media? What does your presence look like at Deer Canyon in terms of using that medium?
Yeah, so we do have a really healthy Instagram account.
Nice.
Follow us at Deer Canyon PUSD.
Nice.
Nice plug.
And we've also been utilizing some AI to really take our messaging and turn it into a more creative medium.
Oh, yes.
So,
You're gonna like this.
our parent staff organization president has been working with me to take some of our messaging and turn it into a video using AI. So we have taken some of our marketing and turned it into a deer that is dancing and announcing some of our fundraising opportunities and
That's
deadlines, and also taking our school newsletters and putting them into some AI platforms that then turn it into a podcast.
Yep.
And so really easy listening, it's conversational, it's really concise, about 10 minutes long, and you really get all of that important information out of that podcast.
So cool.
That
is so cool.
So I learned two things. One, I need to follow at Deer Canyon PUSD.
You sure do.
To look for the dancing and singing deer. And we don't even need to do this. AI can do the podcast for us.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Maybe. Maybe.
I like the human connection, though. I got to be honest. This is talking to people
Yes.
about the things that are important. That's what I think this is all about, and I really appreciate that you were willing to spend some time with us.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.
Well, I look forward to hearing more about, and of course, we'll have to bring you back for another episode. I super appreciate that. Katie's always willing to, again, be a partner with communications. She was at her school site, I don't know, 5 a.m, maybe, on the first day of school because we had a media interview, and she was willing to take it on. Maybe it was 7. But it felt like 5.
5 sounds better, so we'll go with 5.
Much more impressive. So we'll have to have you back on for sure. I want to know how it's going, and especially with this AI podcast. I'm super curious. But thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great rest of your week.
You too.
All right.
Thank
Thanks.
you.